Hey everyone, this is Heather Hope Reed. I am back with another podcast episode. It's been a while. So welcome. I want to say I'm a manifestation coach, but I really still am. So it's been a while since I've been here, but I've been out in the world, in the 3D reality out here, creating multiple businesses. So I took this year and explored a bunch of other things that I wanted to do. And during all of that, I dug even deeper into manifestation and law of attraction and law of assumption and Neville Goddard, and have really learned a lot more. So I've been super excited to come back and share more of the things that I have learned, and I just want to come here and just truly inspire other people, inspire you, and kind of to remind you of who you are, remind you of how powerful you are, remind you how easy manifestation really is, give you some examples, give you some stuff. So I'm back. So what do we want to talk about today? There's so many things. I really need to make a list of all the topics, because I think I just kind of get on here and I just talk. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just sometimes some people are very organized, and I don't feel like I'm all that organized with like, oh, I want to talk about this today. Typically I just talk and what comes out, which I think can be really good. But okay, so I think there's one thing in particular. What did I just think about? Okay, so we manifest what we believe, right? We manifest what we believe. So I've been an Abraham Hicks fanatic for over 3 years now. I still listen to Abraham daily, every single day. There's always a bunch of videos that I do listen to in my YouTube feed. But in the meantime, since last year, I've been digging into Sanaya Roman, not a whole lot lately. And I dug into Bashar, but the last few months, I really got into Neville Goddard. Now, I've had clients in the past say, oh, Neville Goddard, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because I was strictly staying within Abraham Hicks, because I really resonate with their message. And then I have clients that were all over the place listening to everybody. But the issue that I saw with that, it wasn't that they were listening to other channelers or other law of attraction masters, like the masters from years ago, right? They were really digging into psychology and other people, humans, that just spout out their own limited beliefs. And I'm like, no, stop doing that, because you can't mix it all. You just can't. You can mix, like, you can dig into all the law of attraction, law of assumption, all of that. They're all saying the same thing. They really are. If you really study this stuff as much as I do, you realize it's just semantics. And with psychology, it's not really that way. It's just a lot of belief systems over there. If you look into just anything that kind of was human made, it's just based off of a lot of limiting beliefs. So I'm sitting over here and I'm like, everybody's saying the same thing. It's just different wording. So I found a lot of manifestation coaches recently. There's some really amazing ones out there. There's just so many. There's an abundance. And I think it's just, when you need to learn something, when you have questions, the answers appear, right? So every week I would run across a new person, or a couple a week, or one each day, or something. And I'd dig into their stuff and kind of understand stuff better. And so there's a few that are super Neville Goddard and into law of assumption, that they will actually say, well, I don't really get into law of attraction anymore, or I don't really believe it that much anymore. And I'm sitting over here like, I have dug so deeply into Abraham Hicks and law of attraction that now that I'm, getting into law of assumption and all that, I'm saying it's all the same. Because when I first heard about the law of assumption, I'm like, they're talking about the law of attraction. I don't know why they renamed it, but you know what I mean? Like, just people name things differently. And it's just semantics. That's all it is. So it's all basically whatever it is. So I'm pretty sure that was clear as mud. But I really do like listening to stuff from Neville Goddard and law of assumption. And it's basically, like I said, it's the same thing. Um, so, so we manifest, you guys know all this. We manifest from our belief systems. And so whatever we believe to be true will be true. And so like Abraham will say, people will ask Abraham, well, is it because I believe it that it's true? Or is it true because I believe it? Did I just say the same thing? I don't even know. But is it true because I believe it? Or is it true because I believe it? Or do I believe it because it's true? And they say, always, 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 it's true because you believe it. So so make a list of new things you want to believe, like anything. So anything can be made true. Anything. So I remembered this morning, I was writing down last night, right before I went to bed, I was writing down about money. I actually went through all my accounts in my mind. Well, all my accounts online. And then I started adding up money and I'm like, oh, I didn't know I had this much money, because they were in different accounts and I just didn't keep track of it. I'm like, awesome. So I started writing some like thankful statements of having this money. And now, how it's going to be multiplied by next week. I know that I'm making at least this much in the next week, at least this much, just because of the business that I'm doing right now. Like if say I have 5,000 in my accounts right now, by next week I'll have 10. And then I started writing, well then the next week I'll just multiply it. And then I'm like, oh, so I'll have 20. It's just these things that we can start to believe. So my money's getting to be multiplied. It's because it's going to happen this time. So it can happen again. So I started writing down my money is always multiplying. So that's a really great belief, right? If you think about it, like, do you want that belief? Take it, write it down and say, my money is always multiplying. So that reminded me of, and then I made a sale. Did I make a sale? Well, I had a current client reach out to me at like 5 a.m. this morning to see if she could pay me again for the next bunch of months that I'm working with her. So, and yes, I am getting back into coaching 100% because I've created a couple of local businesses in my little town and I absolutely adore it. And I've been meeting a lot of business owners and I'm like, I just am attracted to business owners because that's who I am. I'm an entrepreneur, business owner. So I've been talking to a lot of people and it's been really, really amazing. And it made me realize how much I miss it. Like I love it. And I just have different, I have better perspectives now and I have better ways of helping people. So last year I ended my coaching program at the end of last year and took a break. And so now I really needed that break. Now I started a couple businesses, with a lot of success, really quick success. So I'm like, this is pretty awesome. Let me, I started, kind of, coaching the people I'm working with. And it's not even a coaching experience. It's just, it's all mindset, right? It's all mindset. So I'm working with business owners, local business owners, and I'm literally either on the phone with them or typically in their office talking to them for 2-3 hours. And meeting a really, amazing people who are very similar to me. And that's another topic. That's another Neville Goddard / Abraham / all this stuff topic of everyone is you pushed out. I absolutely love this. And I can't wait to talk more about it. So that we create everyone in our life, we create everything, but we create how people show up and who, the characters in our life and all that good stuff. So it's so fun. So I'm creating all of these people in my life to work with. And so I'm excited to create coaching clients. I'm excited to work with business owners again. I'm excited to do all of this. So enough of that. So what it reminded me of this morning was, oh yeah, these things that people used to say that like they would spend $1 and make 10 back or something, those sayings that people say. And I would kind of roll my eyes of like, how would that even be possible? I don't know. And now I know it's just a belief and things come true based off of our belief systems. So, and Abraham tells us that to create a belief is just a thought we keep thinking. So over in this other side, we talk about affirmations. And, so an affirmation is a statement that we would like to start believing, right? So affirmations are not bad. They're quite wonderful if they're things that you really want to create. And if there's, you can say things all day long and have the most amazing day. I wrote a post yesterday saying, if every single thought that you consciously have, the ones that you make consciously, right, was a positive thought, your life would dramatically change within a few days. Dramatically, night and day. If every single thought, conscious thought, so conscious thought was positive, so that means any thought that's not positive, you just sit there and you're like, nope. Okay, so what do I want? And I've done this for years, and it's like you have to train yourself to think positively. So last week I went to Vegas for a couple of days, had a really amazing time. And on my way back, I had 2 tire blowouts, one after another. Like one got it fixed finally after hours, almost home, 5 miles from my house. The other one blew out. Like I have 4 tires, but the other front tire blew out. It was an adventure. And so each person, I was talking to a bunch of people on the phone because I was in the middle of the desert and there was no cell service for a while. And so I just could call people. So I was calling people and I just started laughing. Every time I was on the phone with somebody, I would just start laughing because of the ridiculousness of the whole circumstance. And so people are like, by the end of the night and the next day, everybody who helped me out was like it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a village to help a human stay alive, I swear. So everybody that I was in contact with in the, 12 hours or so, most people were like, oh, you kind of had a crappy night, or you had a crappy night, or that was kind of sucks, blah, 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 right? Because that's what everybody assumes. And I just kept saying, no, it was fine. It was just funny. It was actually not, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. And it could have been worse had I freaked the fuck out sitting on the freeway at night. The first part of it was during the day, and I changed my tire myself. Thank you very much, because I learned how to do that. But then the donut was flat, so I couldn't drive on that. So eventually it got dark because I don't drive at night. So, I had plenty of time to get home by sunset. Like I time everything, all my trips, I time it to get home by sunset. And it never fails. I pull in when the sun is setting because that is how I control my time, right? I control time. We all control time based off our thoughts, right? This morning I was quote unquote running a bit behind. I was going to somebody's memorial service this morning, literally around the corner from my house. And I was looking at the clock like, I'm kind of running late, which is odd for me, but I'm like, because I'm thinking of all the things I need to get done just to get myself put together before a certain time. And I'm like, well, luckily it's around the corner, but I'm an early person. I got there a couple minutes early, so that's cool. And then I thought, Heather, you control time. Time is elusive. You make time. Either you're going to be late by your thoughts, like, oh, I'm running late, I'm going to be late, right? If I said I'm going to be late, guess what? I would have been there at 11:05 instead of 10:58 or 10:57. So, like that is literally how our life works. So if you go through your day saying, today's a really great day, amazing things are happening, kind of Pollyanna, but screw it. Be a Pollyanna, because that's where the amazing life is being a Pollyanna. I think I'm using it right. But, like if I said, God, today sucks. And, I used to do that. I had, 25 years of major depression because of that crap. Even as a therapist, that's why I'm thanking the universe and all of this that I no longer practice therapy, that I am not in therapy. I'm not a therapist anymore. I don't prescribe to any of that stuff. And I am the happiest person I know. Genuinely happy. And my life is getting better and better and better and better because I proclaim it. I say it all day long. I'm like, things are, I appreciate the beauty. I go outside every day. I feed the birds. I give them water. The birds, the chipmunks, and the bunnies. And then I go sit outside because I have this amazing view. Every single day I go, for the past 2 weeks I've been doing this. And I go sit to the side and I do a lot of affirmations. I remember who I am. I say all the things. I'm wealthy. I'm rich. I'm this amazing person. I say all these affirmations to really pump myself up, because every word I speak, every word I think, everything I think, every word I say, all of it is important. Every single word I utter is important and it matters. And so yesterday's post about, if every single thought was positive, meaning it's either organically positive because you're doing well, or you change it into something positive, things will go well. You dictate how your day goes. You dictate how your moments go by the way that you think and say things. So I lost my thought. Let's bring it back. Let's bring my thoughts back. So I said, this is how it works. I said, stop flip-flopping on your amazing life, because you might be like, oh, it's a wonderful day. And then something bad, quote unquote bad happens, or something happens, contrast. And you're like, oh, what a shitty day. Okay. Now the rest of your day is pointed in that direction, unless you steer it out of that. It's like you're driving down the freeway and you're doing fine, right? And then you swerve to miss a pothole and you go down into the ditch and you just keep going because you don't course correction. It's the same exact thing as your thoughts. If you don't course correct your thoughts back onto the freaking highway, saying, no, everything's amazing. My life is good. The sun is out. The weather's wonderful. I have an amazing dog at home. I have a great husband. I have money in the bank. I have, whatever it is that you can pull out of your life, do it. Remind yourself of how wonderful, but remind of who you are, but remind yourself of how amazingly powerful you are. Each one of us is, but you are. You are insanely powerful, and I bet you rarely ever acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge every single day that you are powerful. You create every single moment in your life. You are the creator of your life, period. You are. So you have to remember to course correct. Every negative thought you have, you're like, no, I am doing great. I'm alive. I am doing well. Pull everything that you can that is going well. Or you can just say, you know what? I just know I'm going to listen to Heather. And because Heather did live a pretty freaking crappy life for half her life. And she pulled herself out of that ditch and she said, no, I'm not living like this anymore. Screw this, screw all of this. And I dug into all of this stuff and I've never been happier. And things have never been more successful in my life as they are right now. Because I keep pulling myself out of that ditch. And I rarely ever end up in that ditch. I really just don't anymore. Because the momentum will carry you to where you want to go. It will keep carrying you. The momentum of negativity will carry you too. Obviously, it happened to me for years. So you have to you have to stop listening to everybody else. That's a big deal. Don't listen to people. Just don't listen to them. I swear to goodness. Do that for a while. I think Neville calls it a mental diet. I should dig more into that, because I understand what the premise is. It's just like not watching the news, not listening to doomsday people, staying out of people's business, not really caring what people think of you. Because you have to start reminding yourself that you're an amazing person and that everybody freaking loves you. And everybody wants to be you, meet you, work with you, all of that. That's why I can't wait to work with my business owners again, because this is so powerful. You can just change the game so quickly. You could be the most popular person in your industry. And that's what I'm working on with my local businesses right now. I'm working with going forward. I'll talk more about what I'm doing, but I'm working with approximately 32 local businesses, moving into December. And my intention for all of these businesses is to be the number one in their industry. So it's 32 different industries. And my intention for them, that's my expectation. So when we get into everyone is you pushed out, and some of you probably know this already, but when we get into it, this is the powerful stuff. Like I get to have expectations of the people that I work with. Now, this is something that Abraham has been teaching this. And when I was coaching before, I got all wrapped up. I wrote this post recently about how I had to get out of coaching because I was all wrapped up in stuff that I felt like I couldn't get out of unless I quit coaching, quit my programs and stuff. So I just needed a break. I needed like this clean break from everyone and to get myself like, okay, there was something off about it for me. And so, and I was listening, it's kind of like getting out of my previous relationship because it was just so entangled that I couldn't see a way out. So of course, it just had to end. So then I heal myself of like all this crazy belief systems and all the things I was attracting. And then, got good and got happy and loved myself and all that good stuff. And then manifested an amazing husband. So it's kind of the same thing. I got out of the coaching because there was a disconnect for me I was still learning how to work with people, vibrationally and law of attraction wise, that for me, it wasn't working. Even though I loved my clients, it just wasn't working. Like things weren't working right. Now I understand why. Now everything's based off of my expectation of people. So if I expect my clients to freaking excel, first of all, I expect them, like the 32 businesses I'm working with right now, I'm like, I expect absolute excellence and just killing it. I do. I expect them because, you know why? Because they're working with me. And I'm not doing coaching with all these people. I'm doing advertising and marketing for them. But for marketing purposes, I love marketing now. I hated it last year. I really didn't like it. Now I love it. I love helping other businesses market their business. So and some of these people are right in line with what I'm talking about mindset wise and law of attraction wise, which is so great. So, but my intention, because I feel so powerful and I feel this is like the self-esteem, self-worth work that I've been doing more and more of like, if you work with me, you're going to be number one. Like that's my confidence level now. This is a different person than last year. I wasn't like this last year. I was like, I don't know, kind of coaching's kind of iffy and blah, blah, blah. Now when I get back into coaching, it's like, oh, hell no, you're going to excel and I'm going to help you get there. So thank goodness for all of this. You have to follow what feels good. I felt like I needed out. And that was perfect. And I started these businesses and I've been getting such night and day results of what I got before. Now, when I first got into law of attraction business coaching, I had really great results. Like I grew social media platforms really, really fast. And then after about a year, I kind of got stagnant. I kind of got bored. Didn't, keep up with that momentum. I was still learning. I was really learning this stuff. I was learning it and then teaching it right away. And I prefer learning through experience, excelling, and then teaching. And that's what I really go for. And that's what I'm doing now. So I'm going to close this off pretty soon, but so go back to belief systems and write down some really cool things that you would like to start believing and, make it into a nice statement and say it a few times a day throughout the day. Like they don't have to be perfect. They can just be like, you know what? I'm really looking forward to the day that I have a lot of money, because you don't want, sometimes if going really off the deep end with an affirmation makes you feel uncomfortable, don't do it. If you're fine with that, then do it. One of the things I want to talk about again is time being elusive, time being like basically non-existent, that everything is right now. Like right now, The past is right now, the right now is right now, and the future is right now. Like everything's right now. It's just our brain that needs a linear process, or, so just for us to kind of move through time, even though we don't. I was sitting outside today thinking about this. Like if I'm a millionaire, if I'm a millionaire tomorrow or next year, or whenever it is, it happens. Isn't that still right now? I'm like, yes, it is, due to time. So I'm like, oh, so everything is right now. So I'm a millionaire right now. Because if right now is always right now, if tomorrow is right now, then it's always right now. So that's an accurate affirmation that I can get on board with. Does that make sense? So everything is right now. The moment is right now. So I am a multimillionaire right now. I am a massively successful business person, businesswoman. I grow businesses like wildfire. All these affirmations. I have so many of them. But in the future, I want to talk about time. I want to talk about everyone as you pushed out. That's going to be a major thing all the time. I want to talk about manifesting a specific person. Now, guys, if you're still here 26 minutes in now, if you ever, I have 350 or 350 podcast episodes, probably somewhere like that. It's a lot. And you will never, not one time until today, ever hear me say yes to manifesting a specific person. I've always said, I've stood firmly in my statement of, why the hell do you want an ex when you can attract somebody better? Okay, now I get it. I actually attracted a specific person recently, and I get it. I didn't do it really on purpose. I didn't, well, I'm not going to get into details, but, now I understand, based on the everyone is you pushed out. I learned, it's like a crash course the last 2 weeks of understanding this. Now I get it. Okay. So I'm going to talk about this more in another episode, but I do want to touch on it because it's like, now I get it. Now I freaking get it. You can have anything you want. It is completely up to you of what you want. If you want an ex back, okay, that's fine. Totally cool. What you need to do is manifest the version of your ex that you actually want, or not necessarily an ex, but a specific person, right? Whoever that is, someone you had a crush on that didn't want to be with you or whatever it was. But what you want is to attract the person that you actually want, not that person. So like, if I wanted to get my ex-husband back, I could. You can get anybody you want back. You can get anybody you want. And that's going to be amazing talks when we talk about that, because it's just, I could focus on all the amazing qualities of my ex-husband. He has amazing qualities, lots of them. But when we were together, it was so much easier to focus on the negative ones. And that's what I kept getting. And now I look back, I'm like, oh, I get it now. I totally get it. But I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. Why do people want their exes back? That's just stupid. Because I usually never had an ex that I wanted back. I have broken up with everybody. Like my major relationships, I was the one who broke up. So I'm like, why would I want them back? I broke up with them. When it's done, right? But when you break up with somebody, or they break up with whatever it is, there's good qualities about that person that you really loved. And that's usually the reason why you have such a heartbreak, because you're just like, God, he was such a freaking sweetheart, but he had that whatever problem, or he had those moments of being an asshole, like that, right? But you're like, I just wish he would just be that nice person all the time. I just wish he wasn't that other not so nice person on the other, you know what I mean? But you can have it. If you don't focus on the bad part, you focus on all the good qualities and work on your self-concept, which is another thing that I just learned about, self-concept. I swear to God, I didn't hear those words before. So it's like I feel so excited now because there's new stuff to dig into, and I completely get it now. Manifestation is so freaking easy. It's easier than I ever really believed it would be. So it's easy. Keep talking about the things you want and feel good about yourself. Like that would be the best thing to do is, work on your self-concept, which is how you think about yourself, which is basically self-esteem, self-confidence, self-worth. Brainwash yourself into believing that you're the greatest person in the world. It's not conceit. It's just you're the greatest person in your world, because this is all it is your world. So, okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to let you go. Like I said, there's so many things to talk about. I'm insanely excited to be back. I can't even tell you. I keep telling people on my Facebook page, if you want to friend request me, because I'm just everywhere. But you can, it's Heather Hope Reed on Facebook. But I have a business page, Heather Hope Reed, and I have still the Millionaire Manifester page, which still has about 10,000 followers over there, and I still post daily over there. So subscribe to the channel, The Inspired Entrepreneur, the YouTube channel. It's going to stay like this. I'm going to get on camera soon. I think I'm going to do like legit YouTube videos. I'm going to do the podcast, and I'm going to do videos too. I'm just going to do whatever I feel like doing. So I'm excited about all of this. So excited to be back. I hope to work with some of you in the near future and just really help you get everything that you want. Okay, take care, guys, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.